On this week's show, we touch on social media marketing. Is it effective or a waste of time for the indie author? Is it more beneficial, even with the time it takes to set everything up on social media? We'll touch on this topic and more with our roundtable discussion panel. Then we have CL Cannon with another fantastic indie connection with a list of books similar to The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Then we spend the final 5 minutes with Karina Cantus as she shares with us about her work and her books and any projects she's got going on. So grab a drink and relax. We get to chatting about today's topic and more. Here's your host for This Week in Indie, Madeline Vance. Hey guys! Blurred out, that's crazy looking. I hope everybody's doing great this morning. We've got a great topic to discuss and amazing author to discuss it with. So, while we're here, take a moment to vote on the poll. You'll see it in the comment section. Drop a hi, and don't forget to like the video. I'm going to let our amazing authors introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about themselves. So here we go, guys. All right.
Morning.
Hey. So we're going to start with Mr. Ron. I'll let him take it away.
Good morning. My name's Ron Alar. I write fantasy, science fiction, humor. I host a GoIndieNow game show called Indie Mayhem that most of these people have been on. So great to see you again. Other than that, thank you for being here. It's an honor.
All right. And now?
That's what I meant. Good morning. Good morning time. Damn it.
I always hate going after Ron because he says something funny that makes me laugh just as my face appears on the full screen. So thanks for that, Ron. I am David Green. I am the writer of dark epic fantasy and urban fantasy, one of which being the one behind me, which is In Solitude's Shadow and The Devil Walks in Blood. I am in Galway in Ireland, even though I do not sound like I am from Ireland, but I am, I can assure you.
Where do you think you sound like you're from?
Well, I grew up in Manchester in the UK, so I sound like that.
Hi everyone, I'm Karina Gantus. First, I'd like to say Christos Anesti, ke chronopola, to all of those that are celebrating the Greek Orthodox Easter today. I am an award-winning author of 14 books, an award-winning filmmaker. I'm also a booktuber, YouTuber. I host the Authoress show on the Artist First Radio Network, and I have the podcast Behind the Pen, which is a YouTube show and an audio podcast. I also run Author Assist, which helps authors with their marketing and promotion and anything in between.
Hi, I'm Isras Ravenhart. I'm a USA Today bestselling author, and I have 14 books today. I mainly write dark fantasy, but I'm also dipping my toe into paranormal romance and releasing that May 11th this year.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Adam Gaffin. I write LGBTQ inclusive science fiction. The Cassidy Chronicles is the main series, and the book you see behind me is a spin-off series that will be coming out in June. And yeah, I'm thrilled to be back here with such wonderful authors and friends.
Awesome,
That was
guys.
beautiful.
It was.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Oh, so touching.
And we've got quite a crowd already this morning. We've got Anita. Hi, Anita. And then we
Hey,
have
Anita.
Joe.
Joe.
And then
No, that's
David's
me.
breaking the fourth wall, as Joe
Hello.
likes to say. James.
Hey, James.
And then Ron is also posting too. So
Yes. Oh my God, my shirt is freaking out.
So guys, our topic today is social media marketing. And I kind of wanted to get y'all's thoughts on this. Do you utilize social media marketing for your books?
Yeah.
I'll go. So I was going to say I'll go last on this because it's what I do anyway. So.
All right, well, then I'll go first. Absolutely. That's primarily what I use for marketing at this point. I've dabbled with Facebook ads and Pinterest and Instagram and Amazon ads to, sometimes hit, sometimes miss. But social media with, if you can get the good word of mouth going, then absolutely it's worth the time that it takes to do it and to do it right.
Nice. Yeah, makes sense. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, so I use it too. The trick with it is when you're first kind of starting out is that your first kind of people that you're kind of talking to a lot of time are your friends and family, and then it turns into other writers that you're kind of talking to as well. And obviously you want to kind of break out from that as much as you can to kind of find the readership, and that is obviously the trick where it takes a lot of time to do that. Obviously you have to have good products and good books and good word of mouth and good reviews and all that kind of stuff to kind of start building that readership up. Because if you are just kind of stuck in an echo chamber of friends, family, and other writers, it can be very hard to actually turn that into sales because everyone is doing the same thing. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. Obviously, there's Facebook and there's Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and newsletters, which something that I probably had the most success from is newsletters. But that'd be my thing and the thing that kind of takes the most time. Because I'm with a small press, so my small press kind of takes. They do a lot of social media stuff too, but they also would do paid advertisement, and that's their kind of side that they do. And then I will try and push my side of trying to find the readership as much as I can through social media, and breaking out of that echo chamber.
Nice. Anybody else? Rita, you want to go ahead and chime in?
The screen's doing some weird things for me.
Uh-oh.
It's all pixelated. So social media marketing, I think there's a right way to do it and there's a really wrong way to do it. I am going to be the one that is kind of blunt, and authors are not your target audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see people making this mistake on a daily. They do it in authors groups, and you need to be reaching readers. So I think the two best assets here are your email list. Get an email list as soon as you can. And also TikTok, believe it or not, because there's a lot of readers on there, probably more than Facebook. And there is an entire market to be utilized on there. You can do page flip videos, you can do funny advertisements about your book. So it's not so much throwing your book in their faces like people do on Facebook and literally the same 10, 15, whatever people see it on Facebook. But on TikTok, you can kind of make it fun. You can be a bit creative with it and hopefully reach some new people. The other thing is Facebook ads. I've done a mixture of all of them, really. Facebook, Amazon, BookBub ads. Facebook ads are pretty good. Amazon ads are kind of hit and miss. Book bar ads are a waste of time and money. I mean, you may as well just get your money from the book bar ads and just set fire to it. It's pointless. But I think the key thing here is be thinking about what audience you're trying to attract before you begin.
That's good.
Otherwise, it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. And Margaret's definitely adding in, you're dropping truth bombs. It's true. I've struggled with book ads, and she also said that also an alternative option is YouTube. Here we go, Ron.
It wasn't me. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. So, all right, Karina, did you want to input?
Wait, before Karina goes, I want to say I'm really enjoying how my shirt is freaking out and Karina's shirt blends into her background.
Oh God, yeah, it does, doesn't it?
So far, this fashion-wise, this has been my favorite episode ever.
It's actually a jumpsuit, but you can only see the top half. But yeah,
meanwhile, I'm in Disney villain pajamas, and I don't care.
Hey, comfy.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm in my dragon shirt that started them all.
Yes. So, Karina, what did you have on your end?
I've only ever used social media for promotion. I've only ever used digital marketing. It's what I do for my clients. It's what I've done for my books for the last 28 years. I'm not one of those that have the bookstore to go and set up some signings or some author appearances, or to go to cons and meet people face to face and do the sales, which I know most authors make their money and their sales doing these cons, which are going around at the moment. So I'm really happy they're open again. And yeah, you do, all the authors are going to them and having fun and selling lots of books. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that because I live in a very small Greek village with old people and donkeys, as most people know when they've seen me on these panels before. So yeah, digital marketing and social media is a must for any author, and as Isa said, you need to know the right way to do it. And authors do read books, and I have sold 2 authors, so don't put that aside. It doesn't mean you promote your books all the time in author groups. Of course you're looking for readers, of course you're looking for your reader, whoever it is, but authors do read, so don't cross that out. So I have notes on every single platform. So if you want to, Maddie, if you want to carry on, and then I'll just jump in when I'm needed.
That sounds good. And Isra actually has something she's been working on it called Street Teams.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Basically, a street team is where you find a group of avid readers, and it kind of works a little bit like advanced reader copy teams, but they just kind of spread the word about your book. So at the moment, I've asked all street team members to share out the arcs. And, they just simply spread the word about your books. And it's kind of a different type of marketing. I mean, I've done it before. To be honest, I had a social media hiatus between 2019 and 2021. So I've kind of been out of the loop on that time of thing. I have experimented with a lot of different marketing options. I hope I can say this here, but I sacked 3 personal assistants last year because they're just literally a waste of time. And the whole point of me hiring, or anyone hiring a personal assistant, is they're meant to give you more writing time. And I found that it actually defeated the object. And so I've moved on from that. That one's been tried and tested and it doesn't work. But the street team is kind of an option that anyone can do. You're not paying these people. They're getting compensation in the form of, your books. You can send them physical copies if you want, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. But it's kind of a more organic way, because word of mouth carries a lot of weight, rather than just somebody saying, oh, this book is great, blah blah blah. And it's kind of it's a different way of marketing, but I think I've got about 6-7 street team members already, and I only started it 2 or 3 days ago. So yeah,
that's impressive. That's very impressive. Do anybody else, do y'all use street teams or something similar?
I'm in the process of putting one together for the next book coming out, and I've got 9 people signed up who are willing to do it, and I'm good with that. So if that's for a first time trying to do it, I don't want to go for a huge number. Mm. And they're all people who I know have read my books. So I know that they're enthusiastic about them. I know that they enjoy them. And so we'll see what happens. I'm shamelessly stealing ideas from other authors on how to manage street teams, and we'll see how it goes.
I wouldn't say stealing. Everybody kind of shares advice, and we all learn from each other.
So, well, yes.
I would say stealing.
Okay, we're all.
But
I'm liberating the ideas.
As you all know,
Ron, you wrote a book about stealing, so you would say stealing.
Several books, but yes, no. As you guys can tell from the way I speak and dress, I grew up on the streets, and so I don't have a street team. I have more of a street game.
No shivs, Ron.
No plugging your show, Ron. Stop it.
Oh gosh. And then here's what Margaret says. Hey, working on today for Anita. And then Anita says, we all know Ron supports stealing because you get what you steal, guys. So
get what you steal. And apparently that is street teams, apparently, if it's run, or street gangs.
Which is his book, by the way. He was plugging his book in case those didn't know.
Yeah,
his book
is get what you steal. So, and it's pretty good. So,
very subtle.
Karina, have you used a street team before or something similar?
I haven't, and I won't. And none of my clients have them either. We have little groups, reading groups. Which we post latest news and everything in the groups, but we talk about other books there as well, not just the author's books. And so street teams, they can certainly work. I know authors that just bend backwards in their street teams, just give so much away, give all their time, go on lives with them, do giveaways with them as well, because they're helping the author promote the book and get the word out to their people. It's a really good way of marketing, but you need to find readers that know who you are, that have read your work, know your style of writing, enjoy your books, so they can then push them for you.
Nice. And then here's Margaret's got some good. I looked into street teams and beta reader overlap and figured a street team was too ambitious given my beta reader performance.
Realist.
And so another thing, like with social media marketing, I use an app for scheduling all my stuff to share to all of my social media. It's got LinkedIn, Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all of that on there. Do you guys use anything like that to help you with your
What
posts?
is yours called, Madeline? What's yours called?
Later.com.
Oh, Later, yeah. I'm signed up with it, and I've done nothing with them at the moment. All my posts are all straight away hand done on the day, on the hour, whenever. The same with the ones I do for my clients. Again, not scheduled, just that's why I'm online 24/7, because I'm just posting all the time.
It helps me stay off because I've got so much going on, and I feel like it helps me have more writing time.
Most definitely. I totally agree, and everyone should get them. TweetDeck, I am with TweetDeck, so I do schedule tweets, but everything else is all hand posted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I go 50/50 with that. I use it for like more generic stuff, like if there's a new release or if there's something coming up, and it comes in really, really handy when you have COVID and you're kind of like, I can't do anything at the moment because I'm so tired, and it's like, and so it still keeps stuff coming out, which is fantastic. But there is something. I think there's a time and a place for having the automated timed things that come out, and then ones that are like, you know, off the cuff, or you know, spur moment things, because I think people can tell as well, you know, that the people that are reading it, they can kind of tell which one is kind of like a scheduled post and what is more of a kind of, I want to say genuine because it's all genuine, but more of a like impulsive kind of thing.
Yeah.
More of the you know, you can be reacting to something a little bit. So yeah, there's a time and place for both of them, and they're both really, really useful. Like you said, Maddie, about giving yourself some time to write is really, really important. You know, and I know some writers that, like, you know, very, very successful on TikTok, which is great, and they literally would spend a few hours one day a week just making TikTok videos and having them in the drafts ready to go.
That is a good idea. Yeah.
So that not just because obviously when you're doing a TikTok video, it can, you know, just to get it right, it can take a little bit of time if you know, if you want to kind of spend a bit of time on it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I know that's one of the things that puts me off doing. I do TikTok, but sometimes I'll have an idea and I'm like, this is going to take a long time, and I can't be bothered right now.
I think, Jessica, if you were asking about later, it does do Instagram.
I would say anywhere that does Facebook automation will do Instagram because they're one of the same now. So
yeah.
Yeah, I've played with a few of them, and I'm still on the, if it goes up, I've actually posted it. You know, I use the business suite from Facebook to schedule out, but it's been kind of iffy as they've been doing a whole bunch of work on it. And so it doesn't always post when you tell it to schedule something out.
Yeah.
So I don't rely on it.
No.
So pretty much it's, if something shows up from me, it's actually from me at that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't use them. I prefer my life to be as difficult as possible.
Well, there you go, Ron. You've achieved it.
Yes. Yes.
I'm on my way.
It takes a lot of time to keep up with like posting stuff. So I mean, like, and I wish I could find something to help me post to like Facebook groups, different Facebook groups, not just like my readers group, but that way you can share more kind of.
You've got to be really, really careful with that, Madeline. That's one of the things I've got notes on at the moment. If you just give us a second.
No worries. I do not want to be in Facebook jail.
Yeah, things are changing all the time over Facebook, and Facebook just keeps on building that wall up for us authors. And we keep climbing and climbing. They keep putting more bricks up and everything. What's happened with the groups now? Basically, they have Autobots now that can actually stop you from automatically sharing onto their group. They prefer you to go onto the group and post live in the group. And so you can automatically be deleted. Your post can automatically be deleted from Facebook groups. They also have rules now, as you know. Even if you're a regular poster on this group, always check the rules because they're changing. A lot of them now are not allowing spam or any sort of self-promotion, which they may be used to. Now they're not, and it will be in their rules at the top before you actually press that post button. Check out their rules. Another thing, and some groups, they want you to have at least 12 words on the post. Again, that's sharing directly. They won't allow that, so they use that excuse. Oh, sorry, you didn't write enough words on the actual post. So things are changing over there, you know. I would say always check the rules now on all the groups, and I would never post more than 3 times on any shared post. So say you had one page, you had one post, you share it 3 times. You go to another page, you have a different post, you share that 3 times. Yeah. And always keep a record of where you're going. If you have like 50 odd groups, and to make sure you're not posting in the same group, I actually use the back of old business cards.
Nice.
And I write down the group name, and so I can go to one business card, do those groups, put them at the back of the pack, so I know I'm never going to do posting twice and get done for spam or whatever. But yeah, you got to be so careful with Facebook now.
Yeah. And then Jessica had a good point too. I haven't had that one happen, like where it says posted by software name, but there are a lot that do that.
And I did have one other all author, which does, cover contests and other things. One of the things they do is they can connect to Twitter, and that actually works fairly well. You can post up to 4 a day, and they'll you write it out and they just send it. And they put their affiliate link for the book that you choose. So they get the penny if somebody clicks on it. And so whatever it's their link, but that actually works pretty well. And that's the only automation that I actually still run.
The reason they're doing these bots now on Facebook is they want more interaction in the groups. I mean, we used to just share and forget about the post.
Yeah.
But now, if you spend just a minute of your time going onto that group, looking at the last 2 posts, maybe commenting, liking, sharing, and it looks as if you're getting involved with that group. So they're not going to be too upset when you post on there. And you never know what will happen when you do a comment or a share. Someone might contact you, thank you for it. It might start a conversation with a reader about something that you've said on a comment. So interaction is so important, especially on Facebook, and that's why they've changed things with the groups now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm part of a really good reader group, and there is authors in there as well. But it's mainly a fantasy group, and there's about 6,500 people in it, and it's set up particularly for readers. And there's certain rules about like how you can promote your own work in there. So if someone goes in there looking for a recommendation, you can recommend your own, so long as you recommend 3 other books at the same time for people, right? Good. And what's good about that is that you get as Karina was saying, you kind of get to know the group because you're recommending other people's books. You're looking at and other people might recommend your books, and then they do a lot of kind of like reader like challenges and stuff as well. Like, so there's like a big summer challenge where where people are in teams and all this kind of stuff. So it's very, very focused on readers, because there is a lot of groups on Facebook that are kind of hit and run groups where it's just like people just post a promo and then that's it, and no one interacts with it, and no one and there's so many of them like that. So to find like a really good reader orientated group is very valuable.
There are a few Kindle Vella groups on Facebook that are like that, where they say, okay, if you post, you can post a promo, but you also have to go and look at something else, another author's stuff, and it can even be one of the free episodes. At least it's getting some more visibility, because right now a lot of it is trying to game the system at Amazon. The author saying, okay, we can all read each other's stuff, and support each other. Reading the free stuff doesn't cost us anything except a little bit of time. And
So have you read all our stuff? Adam, have you read all our stuff for free?
I have.
Mm-hmm.
If I post something in one of those groups, I read.
All right.
That's a very political answer.
It was. What I heard was no.
Yes.
Oh no! If you were to see my Kindle Vella list, the stories I followed, it's probably a couple hundred stories that I've at least started. I'll read the free episodes of anybody's stories, just because they're free, and if I like it, I'll keep going. Whether it's a genre that I usually read or not. So I am using the, try before you buy.
We can only hope that everyone does that. I mean, Amazon gives those pages free for you to download that sample of the book. Are people downloading samples of your book? We don't know,
It's true. I like to use a lot of reader magnets for that kind of too, just in case like somebody doesn't want to do like the Zon. So
I want Anita to tell us how David's book is.
She just started reading it.
Right, but like, is the first
and which
word
book
any good?
is the other question. So
I mean, you're not telling me you haven't read a book and after the first page went, this is shit. I mean,
yeah, easily.
Yeah.
So,
there's only one. There's a series of books that I've ever given up on from reading when I started, even though I've not been enjoying it. There's been plenty of ones that I don't enjoy, but there's only one series that has defeated me. And every time I keep going back to it and going, I'll finish it this time. I'll finish it, and I get to the third book and I get like a chapter further each time, and I'm just like, I just can't do it. I can't.
Yeah.
What is the series?
Yeah, and it's a book that people love as well. Like, people are always recommending it to me all the time. Like, and I was talking to the author recently, and I was like, I just can't.
Yeah, you like it or you don't like it. People have different tastes, We just got to get on with things, Bad
I read the first
reviews.
two. Yeah, I read the first two in the series multiple times, and the third one, I know one day I will finish it. One day, and I will enjoy none of it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anita. Thanks very much.
Yes, we'll put that back up there again. She's enjoying it. So with your social media marketing, guys, do you follow a plan or like, because I've seen some stuff recently that there is like, you can write out a social media marketing plan, or do you kind of just go with like how things are that day or at the start of the week if you schedule? Like, how do you go about your marketing?
I don't have a plan. I mean, my life is too screwed up right now.
Plan?
To do that. to make a plan focused on, so no, I don't plan.
Yeah, what's planning? I've never heard of it. No, we just go with the flow. I basically, whatever my clients wants promoting, why the book is being promoted, is it on special, is it on KU, then that gets promoted. My own stuff, my 14 books doesn't get touched until weekends because I'm working for my clients during the week. So basically, on different platforms, posting different posts for different books, for different authors. So
I think by the way, I saw a comment there from Jessica about tropes. I love tropes too, and I love recommend me one with these kind of tropes in, or when someone's inverted a trope. I think it's a really good one to do. In terms of like a plan, I think it's good to have a plan that isn't too regimented, but there is some kind of plan there, because obviously with a lot of platforms, the more they'll grow and the more interaction you'll have is the more that are the ones that you do most things with. So Facebook is a great example of that if you are not kind of posting regularly to it to try and get people to look at it, it will get buried in their feeds, and you might as well just be screaming in an empty forest about something because no one's gonna hear it. Obviously TikTok works a little bit differently. You could get something that just blows up, and you might have something that just doesn't do anything, but again, that's about perseverance as well. I think there's like newsletters, there's a real art to newsletters about when to post them, what time, what day of the week is the best way to do it, what time of the day is the best place to do it. Titles that you put onto it as well is really key. So there's a lot, if you are going to get heavily into newsletters, there is a real kind of study to that to kind of get the most out of it, because it's like and you can go well into it about what time people are more likely to read emails, and all that kind of stuff. So there is some planning, and I think it's what I was saying before, that it's that getting that balance of the spontaneous versus the planned. Some things are a lot more suited to planning, whereas there's more things that it's nice to kind of have that kind of off the cuff touch to it as well.
You, oh, Maddie, I can't hear you.
Sorry, muted myself. There. Background, so I was like, oh. Anita says she squeezes it in when she has a spare moment. So, yay.
Going back to what David was saying about newsletters, it is for me one of the best sellers because I can't do face-to-face. So I do my clients' newsletters and my own. The subject matter is very, very important that these people are getting like 30 emails, 40 emails all the time. And yours has got to stand out for them to click on it, or they're going to already want to know what you're up to, what your latest news is, because they're a fan. Most likely it will be the subject matter that gets them to click. So to open a newsletter is amazing if you get some to open it. Well done, fantastic, you got there. Then what was I going to say? Newsletters. Hold on. Oh, I lost my train of thought. What have I written down for newsletters? Cross promotion, of course. Cross promotion is so important with newsletters. I've said this to Ron. I've lectured Ron about this. That he doesn't do a lot of cross promotion. He maybe does one book in every.
I think we lost you there
for a minute. Am I back?
Yeah. So.
Am I back? Am I? Okay. So yeah, I was lecturing Ron. Basically, 3 or 4 cross promotions, if you can. 3 or 4 cross promotions, if you can, is brilliant. And what happens for those that don't know, with a cross promotion, say you've got 1,000 subscribers and your book is fantasy, and you find another author with 1,000 subscribers, their book is fantasy. You're going to swap. They're going to put your book and your details of your book on their newsletter, and you're going to put their book on your newsletter. Now, not 1,000 people are going to open the newsletter, but have a potential of 1,000 people seeing who you are and your book for the first time. Now imagine that times by 4. You know, it is a huge, huge way of getting your name out there and a book that people have never seen before, especially, of course, if they're writing and reading in the same genre.
I did try a lot of swapping, you know, through Story Origin and also a couple of Facebook groups for sharing, you know, finding swaps. And I mean, I had times where I had, you know, a bunch of promotions from Story Origin in my newsletter and a bunch of swaps. And I put their entire blurb in because just listing the book, I'm like, you know, this isn't doing crap for anybody. And frankly, I never got a lot of results positive for me. And I tried to reach out to some people and say, hey, why don't we review each other's books in our newsletter? You know, make it something that is not just a toss off reference to a book that I haven't even read. You know, I'm just like, you know, support these people. And I didn't get any takers. I mean, it's like everybody's so busy, they don't want to invest the time. But for me, it's not worth it doing swaps without investing some time because they're not generating any results. So in summation, I hate people, but I would like them all to buy my books.
Hate people, love their money.
Great marketing, Rob.
Yeah, I hate people love their money. That, God, I should sell a shirt that says that.
And it just says, don't do review swaps. Bad idea.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Well, I don't. Yeah.
Why?
I haven't had much luck with review swaps either.
I wish I had the
feel
time.
like they don't actually read it.
I wish I had the time to
like,
read the book.
Mm-hmm. But I've had better luck
Look
with
at the blurb and then do a review on the blurb. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the blurb review would be good. But I use Story Origin to do a lot of newsletter swaps. I mentioned on a previous show that I have 3 newsletters going out a week now. I know, right? But I only limit it to like, I'm only swapping with like 2 people on there. So it kind of puts more focus on their stuff, and I've had better clicks instead of just like one newsletter where I'm just like piling all the stuff in like I was doing before. I felt like it was kind of like too much, so I kind of like minimized it a little bit, like so it has more focus.
So you're sending out free newsletters, or actually, I don't even. So go ahead. Go on.
Can I just mention Adam had a fantastic marketing on his website, and it worked for him, and I thought that was so good. Do you want to tell them what you posted, Adam?
Oh, is it the video?
No. All right, so there was a meme that went around. I saw it a couple times before I grabbed it, and it was, just very simple. A story from an introverted author. I suck at marketing. Buy my books. The end.
I saw that post. I shared that post on my stuff too.
And,
I was like, it's
actually,
perfect.
that's gotten a fair amount of engagement because people, other authors have appreciated it, and it's kind of the tongue-in-cheek. The tongue-in-cheek, and it's not pushing the books in front of people. It's just, look, just buy them, please.
But you got sales from it.
Yeah, no, I did. I also found it coincided with the release of the last book, so I don't know how much of it was the new book coming out and how much of it was that. But I ended up selling 35 books this past week, which
excellent.
Which
awesome.
was, for me, it's a good total, and some of that I'm going to say came from that post, and it's still getting really clicks, clever. It's still getting likes.
All right, I want to talk about what Anita is saying here. I get that you're not swapping reviews on Amazon, just in your newsletters, so that when you are, referencing it in your newsletter, you're actually recommending it. And of course that would mean, you had to like the book. But I do like lots of books. In your newsletter. But I'm not trying to violate Amazon's terms of service. I respect our benevolent overlords and never look for any trouble with them.
Here's another good one from James. I like the meme that says, buy my books because my body isn't made for OnlyFans.
Now, see, that's funny. I was thinking of it more along the lines of buy my books or I'm going to do OnlyFans. Threaten the people. That like you will not like what happens if you don't buy my books.
Go out of the box. You've got to step out of the box to be noticed. Something like that could work, Ron. Seriously.
I'd like to see how successful your OnlyFans would be, Ron. I think it'd be. I think it'd go viral.
I think it would be just so depressing and heartbreaking for me and my self-esteem. Yeah, you have negative OnlyFans, fans.
I actually know an author that threatened to kidnap himself if people didn't buy 100 copies of his book.
Did it work?
No.
It's a good strategy, though.
Did he follow through with it, or she? Did they kidnap themselves?
The thing is, he didn't sell anything, so the kidnap was irrelevant. But that's got to be the most interesting form of marketing that I've seen.
Agreed.
How do you?
I kind of look at stuff like that and like the whole because I've actually seen authors making this mistake on Facebook most often, and it's basically kind of blaming the reader because their book isn't selling, and it's kind of a turn off.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Well, basically, there could be a million reasons why, somebody isn't reading that book. And, when authors post, oh, my book isn't selling, blah, blah, blah. I'm so crap at this, blah, blah, blah. everyone must hate my book, blah blah blah. And like, if they haven't done arcs, if they haven't had better readers, if they haven't had somebody, you know, a professional look at it, if their blurb doesn't like give you the if the blurb doesn't sell you the book, you know, those are all points to possibly work on. If you haven't looked at all of those things, including your cover and the editing and all that kind of stuff, which some of them tend to ignore, you can't really blame the reader.
And blaming the reader is really the wrong place to put it. And it's just, no, there's nothing. You might get sympathy from other authors, but you're not going to attract any more.
You're going to make sales from that when you're telling everybody your book is shit.
No. And it's just going to go because if a reader who might have been interested in you reads that and you're saying, oh, nobody buys it, it must be crap. Well, guess what? The reader's going to believe you.
Yeah, they are.
So, you know, when you're putting it out there, you're always positive. You're always like, look, read this because it's a fun book. Read it because it's an important book. Read it because, you know, you're going to fall in love with this character or you're going to hate that character or, you know, always, you know, you're trying to lift it up, not bash yourself to try to sell it. That is, Isra, you're absolutely right. That is the stupidest marketing idea.
It comes across as really desperate as well.
Yeah.
And
I don't sell any books one week. I don't sell any books one week. You know, I'm not going to post up and say, oh, I'm going to give up. It's not working. You know, it's one of those things. You know, if you don't promote,
I mean,
people don't see your books, nobody buys it.
It kind of comes with the territory of being an author anyway. Like, everyone's going to have a dry spell. So
that's true.
You know, you have to kind of keep those gripes either to a close friends setting or just don't post it.
Right. You know,
I think
you're going to gripe in a chat. You know, gripe with another author.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of thing that, like, if you're feeling that way as an author, I mean, everyone has like imposter syndrome, and everyone kind of like thinks,
of course,
is this as good as what as when you get like a good when you first. I remember the first good review that I got, the first book I wrote, and I was like, and another good review came in, another one, and I was like, is it actually this good, or is it just people insane? You know, everyone has that thought, right? But then you talk to other authors about that, and if you're struggling with sales and you're struggling with getting your book out there, then there is plenty of, I mean, this is what this is for people to give advice. Plenty of places for people to go. And I wish, like, when I started off, I wish that I knew about this kind of stuff, because, you know, a lot of time when you first start off, you just kind of making stuff up as you go along, and you make mistakes, and you know, I made some huge mistakes with my newsletter when I first started it off, and it took a good while to kind of fix those mistakes, but that's because I went and found advice for it. As you're saying, as you're saying, like, but the actual writing, the actual thing, it's all subjective. Some people are going to love it. Some people are not going to love it. All you can do is do the best job that you can possibly do with that product. And then the other side of it is find as much advice as you can possibly get and listen to it as well. The worst thing you can do as an author is to get advice and go, you know what, I'm not going to even listen to what you've just said.
I think Maddie's about to hit the mute button on all of us, because
I would never do that.
I was just going to talk about Twitter quickly before you
hold on. Let's hold the Twitter thing until after this great video, guys. So we're gonna hear from CO Cannon real quick.
Hey guys, CO Cannon here from Fiction Atlas Press, bringing you another Indie Connection. Today I'd like to tell you about some indie books that you might enjoy if you're a fan of Neil Gaiman's The Graveyard Book. The first book I have for you is called Nightfall Gardens by Alan Houston. Vayne Lily Blackwood and her shy brother Silas wonder if their family will ever settle in one place long enough to lead a normal life. When a mysterious stranger arrives claiming to be their uncle, they discover their parents have been hiding a secret that turns their world upside down. The two are kidnapped to Nightfall Gardens, the family's ancestral home, a place shrouded in ancient mystery where they meet their dying grandmother and learn of an age-old curse placed on the Blackwood females. Lily must take over as protector of the house and 3 haunted gardens that hold mythical beasts, fairy tale nightmares, and far worse. If she doesn't, the evil trap there will be unleashed and bring on a new dark age. While she deals with malevolent ghosts inside the house, Silas is put to work in the gardens, where one wrong step means death. Along the way, they search to unlock the secrets of the house and to stop the creatures in the gardens before the world is destroyed. The second book I have for you is called Awa and the Dream Realm by Isa Pearl Richie. What if dreams are more real than waking life? Life is already complicated enough for Awa Bryant when she starts having weird dreams, waking dreams, and strange coincidences start appearing in her real life. She meets dream charmer Velia, a quirky, glowing creature who helps to guide Awa through the mysterious dream realm. At first, the dream realm is a glorious escape from Awa's daily struggles, but something is not right. Soon Awa discovers she has a bigger quest, and everything she cares about is at stake. Will she be brave enough to face her fears and save her friends? The third book I have for you is called The Spirit Hollows by P.R. Brewer. An inventor and an assistant undertaker against all the spirits in the hollows. Quinn dreams of leaving his dreary job at his mother's funeral home for a life of adventure. His half-sister Zora plans to prove what a brilliant scientist she is and settle a secret grudge. Together they set out to fight the spirits that have roamed the hollows ever since the Great Awakening. As Zora and Quinn hunt by night in the graveyards and forests of what was once old Appalachia, they clash with one another and compete against a mysterious rival. But when a shadowy cult and an ancient, otherworldly enemy start trying to murder them, the young spirit hunters must scramble to uncover the hidden past of the hollows and dig up long-buried family skeletons. If Zora and Quinn fail, they'll find worse things waiting for them in the dark. And the last book I have for you is called Kiki McAdoo and the Graveyard Ballerinas by Colette Sewall. When 11-year-old Kiki McAdoo and her talented older sister go to Mount Phelan Dance Conservatory for the summer, they ignore the brochure's mysterious warning that ballets come alive in the nearby forest. But after her sister disappears, it's up to Kiki to brave the woods and save her sister from the ghost Silifs that dance young girls to their deaths. As Kiki unlocks the mysteries of Mount Phelan, the ballet of the ghost Silifs, Giselle simultaneously unfolds, and Kiki is swept away in the adventure of a lifetime. Okay, that's all for me this week. I'll see you next week on the Indie Connection. Bye!
Right. Those are some great books, sounds like. So back onto social media marketing and different platforms. Karina, you had a little bit that you wanted to talk about on that?
Yeah, I just got a few notes on each of them. I just want to run through them for anyone that's watching and any of us that are in this now. Instagram first, you have the rule of 70-30, if you haven't heard of it before. It's basically 70% of your postage to be not about your book and 30% to be about your book. So make sure that you mix and match. So you've got memes one day, you've got inspirational quotes another, you've got book quotes, you've got book review quotes. Only use a link to your actual book once a week. Try to keep to an aesthetic when it comes to Instagram, so that when you're rolling down, when someone's rolling down your streams, every post is going to look pretty and nice and similar. So if you keep that aesthetic, it makes the page look really nice. When you have hashtags, don't put your hashtags in your post. Do the post, go to comments and put all your hashtags in the comments. It works the same as if it was in your post, and it keeps the post nice and clean and tidy. Okay, so what we got? TikTok. We all know TikTok. I don't know who uses TikTok and what not for. I share my TikTok with my nails. So basically, I have two lots of people coming onto my TikTok. It's either for cosplay and doing readings, or doing a video about one of my books, the cover of the book, and using a really good music with it, or it's doing about my nails. So I have two lots of people coming in and hopefully looking at all these videos. Make sure you use the relevant hashtags. You have to, it's like, what is your video about? Who are you trying to connect with? Who do you want to see your video? Lately, the numbers have really dropped on TikTok, and I've heard a lot of people complain about that. My last few ones were only like 250 views, but the last one I did, which was a nail one, I got 1,378 views because I used the hashtag and the music of Blackpink. Now, Blackpink is one of the top female K-pop bands out there, and that sort of brought people in then to use the video. So always check to see what hashtags you can use to get people. Don't use the same ones all the time, you know, mix and match it. This is another one that I've just started using again. I think Maddie has already started using it again. I stopped for a while, but Pinterest is a really good place, and it's supposed to be really picking up for authors selling their books. But instead, when you do one of these boards, instead of just putting links to your books and what have you, why not to put movies that are similar to your books, other books that are similar to your books? What actors would you have playing these roles? What clothing are they wearing in these scenes? What car do they drive? You know, you have a board for your book, but it's not promoting your book, it's promoting the story and the characters. And that really gets people having a look, and you're not pushing it in their faces then. And like where the place is set, have pictures of where the place is set. Of course, when you're writing, you know what the environment is like around. So finding photos and everything to go with your plot of your book is really good for Pinterest. And it has been taken off for exactly, Anita. It's really, Pinterest is taking off for authors. Clubhouse, MeWe, I was with MeWe. I've stopped posting on there now. It seems to be full of bots and spammers, unfortunately. It started off really good, and then it's just got wiped out. Twitch, I started using Twitch for sprints. I haven't gone live yet, but I'm going to try. This is another one of those where you can go live on Instagram, you can go live on YouTube. So Twitch is another way of getting yourself out there. Tumblr, the Tumblr's still going. If no one's using it, get on it. Just you share a post directly onto Tumblr. Don't worry about going on and having a look what's going on. Just keep sharing. That's what I do. LinkedIn, I know it's supposed to be for business purposes, but if you've got an achievement, if you've just put a new book out, then use LinkedIn to spread the word. I'm going to shut up now. So anybody else got anything to say? Thank you.
I have an opinion on LinkedIn, and it may not be a popular opinion, but I seem to get swamped with people inboxing me their services, and most of them are not services to do with books. So I'm kind of questioning most of the time, like, what really is the point of LinkedIn? Apparently there's LinkedIn ads, but I've actually not tried them. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that would be any use, but mainly it just seems to be like job offers and stuff.
Yeah, I have LinkedIn and I use it, but there's not a lot of interaction on it.
No.
But I'm keeping it going just in case, like, there is that one person that's like, hey, I'm going to go check out this book kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LinkedIn does have a spam problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
I mean, I use LinkedIn every once in a while because I have so many connections from my previous, work life, but it doesn't do shit for me. It's a waste of time.
I mean, what have you guys found to be the most successful platform for you? And I know this is probably going to be different all across the board, but
it's not so much any one platform is successful. It's, because one of them will catch fire for a little while, and there'll be a lot of engagement, and then another, and then that'll drop off, and then another, different platform will pick up. Some of it is just kind of the whims of the algorithms.
Right. It depends on what kind of stage, really. For me, I think obviously Facebook was good at the start, and it still is mainly for networking, really, and meeting other authors and getting advice and everything. But it was at the start, it was very good to kind of get that first kind of readership, which was mainly from authors, like Karina was saying before. It was other authors that were reading me at first, and they would pass it on to their readers. So that was good for that. And then obviously when you kind of develop that and find readers groups or create your own reader group, which which I think I'm getting one pretty soon, or I might have to make it myself, I think, at some stage. But once you kind of get that, and you kind of get that base, like I was saying earlier at the top of the show, it can become an echo chamber. So it's like, how do you grow that out? And then the next step for me was newsletters. Like TikTok is good, Instagram is good. And as Adam says, there's an ebb and flow with those things. But the newsletter then was a really great thing to kind of take it all and kind of grow it. Because then that you can cross promote with other authors, you can cross promote your own things as well. You can say, look, I'm being interviewed on this soon, I have this YouTube channel, I have this, and people will go and find their own interest that way. But the newsletter then was kind of like creating like a little foundation when you had something, and then saying, right, what's the next way where I can go and spread out like a disease, a writing disease.
It was great until it was terrifying.
Yeah, actually, and this goes back to what Karina was saying about group promotions, David. If you're in group promotions, if you have different books in different group promotions, and you have those in the newsletter, then it plays into what you were just saying about, hey, if you like this, then here you can go here. If you go to this promotion, you can see this book, and if you go to that promotion, you can see that book, and so you're doing both of them. You're combining ideas. So
if I remember correctly, back when this question was asked, it was, what social media platform is most successful for us? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Am I on the right show?
Yes.
For me,
No.
For me, it's been my OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Oh gosh.
I actually made a video taking the piss out of promotion today, because I actually stuck my book in front of my cat, Maleficent. I actually posted it on TikTok too. And I basically chased her around the room demanding a review.
Nice. I love it. Anytime you have a cat in a video, I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
So,
They're
TikTok,
very popular cat videos.
yes.
TikTok
I'm gonna remember that for my
is the best
OnlyFans.
one, combined with newsletters as a top second. The other ones are just not worth bothering with unless you're paying for ads, in my opinion.
Anybody else want to add in on that?
Well, I was just going to throw in on the cat thing. We have 5 cats, so I make sure on Instagram at least once a day I throw up a picture of the cat, or with something, or I do a reel with one of the cats. And just going with Karina's 70-30 rule, I apply that kind of daily. If I do 3 posts, one of them will be about my stuff, and the other 2 will be more entertaining. I'm also part of a group engagement, an engagement group. So we're sharing each other's posts and each other's stories, so that my feed ends up with a lot of other people's stuff in it.
That's good.
Yeah. And so, attracting different audiences to it.
Nice. Well, all right, guys, I guess this is going to wrap it up. We've got Karina coming up with the last 5 minutes. So, but while you're here, make sure you hit the like button down here at the bottom and subscribe so you know when we're going live again. You have finally found GoIndieNow. So hang out and check out the rest of our stuff. But now it's time for Karina.
I was going to do a really clean read, but then Joe said, "Oh, don't worry about that." So, Broken Chains here is my one of my new releases. It's a mafia MC thriller, and today I'm going to be reading a excerpt from Road Rage, which is my latest release. If you are under the age of 18 or easily offended, please switch off now, because there's going to be a lot of cursing and violence in this small excerpt. So for those of you that are not switching off, enjoy. I'm going to read the blurb quickly so you get an idea of what the book's about. Okay. Fast-paced MC urban romance with plenty of mischief, murder, and mayhem. Beautiful and yet scarred, Jem works in a supermarket, living a safe life she's chosen after surviving a violent past running with an outlaw motorcycle club. Excitement beckons in the form of a handsome biker named Shep, who introduces her to the rest of his legit racing club, Rage. However, members of Rage won't accept Jem until she's proven herself, and Shep sees her as no more than a trophy for his drugged-up ego. Jem then makes the mistake of getting involved in Rage's illegal activities, which then lands her back in the arms of an outlaw motorcycle club and a deadly conclusion. Okay, enjoy. I was dressed in my racing gear, even though I wasn't racing. Blade wanted his riders ready, and we never knew when we would be called out at meets. I was sitting on my bike, sipping a beer, chatting to Dawn and Pat, when Blade came strolling along and took the bottle from my hand. "That's enough. You're racing tonight," he said. "Who?" I asked. "One of the aces, Clive. You know him?" "Once or twice," I answered. Ace had a good rep amongst almost as good as ours. They always caused a stir when they showed up unexpectedly at meets. The guys were young posers who'd like to show off their bikes, but they were also known as winners. "Hey, hold up a sec," GBH called out. "I'm up to race Clive next." "Leave it," Turbo warned. "What's this bullshit?" GBH demanded. Blade turned to face him. "I want Jem to take him on. Ace has put a bet on, and I'm not about to turn it down." "Fuck that," GBH yelled. "I've been waiting a long bloody time to race that tosser. I'm not fucking stepping down." I didn't give a shit whether I raced Clive or not, but I was pleased to see how upset GBH was. "What's going on?" Bree asked as she joined us. "Blade's giving my race to Scarface." I jumped off my bike and charged at GBH the same time that Doc, who just came around the corner, ran at him. Turbo grabbed hold of my jacket and I struggled to get out of it so I could tear that motherfucker's eyes out. "You son of a bitch," I yelled. Doc laid into GBH with relentless punches. I'd never seen the anger from him before. "Leave it, Doc," I shouted, still in the grips of Turbo. "I don't need you to fight my fucking battles." A crowd had started to gather, eager to see the fight. GBH was taking his jealousy out on Doc. Both fought as though they wanted to kill each other. Pat stepped forward. "Leave 'em," Blade instructed. "They need to blow off some steam." I couldn't stay and watch, especially as Blade wouldn't allow me to punch some sense into them. "Okay, get off me," I yelled to Turbo. He released his grip and I walked away from the scene. "Wait up," Bree yelled. "What was all that about?" "Doc was defending her honour," Dawn answered as they walked beside me. I stopped. "I don't need anyone defending my honour," I argued. "I can take care of myself." "We know," Dawn said, "but that's what the men do when someone insults their lady." "Doc shouldn't have got involved. I could have taken that shithead." I walked away. I needed to calm down. I still had the race ahead, and I needed to focus and stay sharp. Blade had already pushed his Aprilia to the starting line by the time Pat found me and told me they were waiting. Clive was sitting on his bike, casually chatting to another club member. The ace card on the back of his jacket displayed to everyone that they thought themselves as being top of the deck. His friend nodded my way, then left. Clive did up his jacket and was putting on his gloves when I approached. He didn't greet me, but I decided to speak to him anyway. How come we don't see your MC down here much? Got better things to do, he answered, and then put his helmet on. Arrogant bastard, I thought. Not only did he think he was best, he thought he was too good to associate with Rage. The guy needed to be taught a lesson on how to respect his elders, I decided. Forest Road was one of the easiest to race. Marshals were standing at the top of the lengthy road, ready to radio in when the lights changed to red, stopping any traffic that might have been on the road at 2:30 in the morning. There were no bends on this course. It was a straight road. The faster rider crossed the finish line first. We were both sitting on Aprilias, so far we had the same odds. It depended on who was daring enough to go flat out, reaching about 120 miles per hour before having to brake sharply prior to crossing the lights. I knew what I was willing to risk to win. I only hoped Clive wasn't feeling so brave. Doc was standing at the starting line watching me. He had a black eye. I studied his bruised and battered face. I knew he wanted to talk to me, clear the air. I assumed Blade ordered him not to approach. I searched around and saw GBH standing alone. His arms were folded, giving attitude. Motherfucker, I whispered under my helmet. I took a deep breath, faced the front, and concentrated on the race. Thankfully, I got off to a good start. It was a close call, but I won just by a small margin. I knew my win would keep Rage happy for the night, but I wasn't ready to celebrate yet. I had unfinished business to attend to. My moment came when we returned to Blade's house to continue the party. I'd been watching GBH closely. I followed him upstairs. I saw him enter the master's bathroom. Making sure the coast was clear, I reached into my back pocket and pulled out my switchblade. I waited until I heard him pissing. Then I walked in. Standing behind him, I raised my arm and held the knife to his throat. The flow of urine stopped. Now you listen good, you pathetic little... I looked over his shoulder. Yes, little man. You ever insult me like that in public, I swear I will slit you open. You have no idea what I'm capable of, do you? I don't need Doc to fight my battles. Do you understand me? Nod your head. I removed the blade an inch from his neck. Once he confirmed he understood, I dropped my stance and stood back. GBH zipped up and turned around. His face was pale. He looked shaken. I was glad I'd gotten to him. I still had the knife in my hand, but I stood casually. I let your childish jealousy slide, but now it's starting to affect the club. I can't have that. So what is it? You're jealous and I'm a better rider than you. Is that it? If I lose a few and get back on top, will that make you feel superior? GBH never said a word, just stood staring. Sorry, but I ain't going nowhere. The door to the bathroom opened and a woman stood outside, surveying the scene. Piss off, I told her. She turned back round and left quickly. I like winning, and no one, especially a pathetic twat like you, is going to make me feel bad. We need to make things right between us. I folded my knife and put it back in my pocket. GBH held his arm out. I'm sorry, Jem. I should never have said that about you. I was just mad and it came out. I didn't care to hear his apology. I knew we'd never be friends, and I just didn't want there to be problems with the others, especially if it was over me. Why don't you get down and apologise to Blade and Doc, and then we can forget this ever happened? Yeah, okay, he said. Good. I opened the door and left him inside. I pitied the fluffy beige towels that were about to have GBH's grubby hands all over them. Leaning against the hall wall, I sighed deeply, smiled, and then went downstairs to face the others. So that was a small excerpt from Road Rage. It is an 18, as you gather. It's a dark romance, the same as Broken Chains. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure to check out the books on my link tree, and it's always time to go indie now.